Welcome to Nature's Frequency Saturday product event. We have a great event in store for you today, and we are so excited to have people joining us today from all over the world. You will learn that our technology is really creating a buzz worldwide because it is a technology that people can relate to and need all over the world. So there's a lot of excitement going on. So we want to thank you for taking the time to let us share our passion with you today. During this special event, you're going to have an opportunity to hear from the owners of Nature's Frequencies as well as one of our favorite healthcare professionals who will share her experience and expertise on health and wellness and our exciting topic today. And then toward the end of the call, we will announce some flash promos, and we will also give you a chance to win one of our featured products. That's pretty cool. Before we get started, please note that the information regarding Nature's Frequencies products, websites, or associated materials have not been evaluated by any regulatory authority and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. This presentation should not be used as a substitute for the advice of an appropriately qualified and licensed physician or other healthcare provider. This presentation is strictly for informational purposes only. So I see today that we have a lot of new faces on our Zoom. So for the benefit of all those who are new to us and our guests, Nature's Frequencies is the manufacturer of some of the world's most advanced patented proprietary products utilizing quantum resonance technology. This technology focuses on the application of electromagnetic energy in frequencies to reduce quantum noise and increase energy exchange to improve the functioning and the harmonization of the body and its energy system. So the problem is that our bodies are energy, and every day our bodies are being bombarded by internal and external stressors to that energy system. And it's really what we would call the invisible enemy because we're surrounded by it. It's coming from chemicals and toxins and GMOs, electromagnetic radiation, stress, physical and emotional trauma, and so much more. You're going to be surprised at all the sources of these stressors. When your body's energy flow is drained, blocked, imbalanced, or interrupted, well, that's when you're going to feel discomfort, possibly some fatigue and other symptoms. And when your body's energy frequencies and vibrations are recharged, balanced, and optimized, well, that's when you will feel naturally healthy and energetic. And isn't that the way that everyone wants to feel? So the solution, Nature's Frequencies has developed the most advanced energetic health and wellness technology products using biofield resonance technology. And it's designed to balance and restore your body's natural energy flow to help your body achieve optimal health and wellness energetically, and then to protect your body from the damaging effects of EMF radiation. So here's how it works. When you place the energetic health and wellness technology products on your body or anywhere in your energy field, then your body absorbs those beneficial frequencies that it needs in the amount that it needs when it needs it to help you achieve optimal health and wellness and maintain that with energy and vitality. Our products are all designed to help people live, breathe, move, work, and play with optimum vitality rate. This technology has been also used to develop an award-winning product to keep food fresher longer. That is an amazing technology in and of itself for another day. All of our products are inspired by Nikola Tesla, who was a famous physicist, inventor, electrical and mechanical engineer. And he said, if you want to find the secrets to the universe, he said, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything is energy. Nature's Frequencies owns 6 U.S. patents and has received 12 prestigious awards for their innovation and their excellence. In fact, all of our products are covered by at least 2 patents. So all of our products are exclusive to us. We are the inventors and we are the leader in this technology. Nature's Frequencies has been developing and private labeling products for doctors, naturopaths, and other healthcare practitioners since 2013 to help practitioners address the health and the vitality of their patients energetically. All of our Nature's Frequencies products have been developed and formulated in conjunction with these healthcare practitioners, utilizing their vast knowledge and experience in health and wellness to create the most powerful proprietary proven product formulas that have been used and tested now by practitioners with thousands of people with successful results for over 7 years. To further expand and accelerate their vision and mission to provide these life changing, energetic home health and wellness products to everyone, everywhere, Nature's Frequencies launched a brand new partner division. And the rapid worldwide growth has been nothing short of amazing. So, we are so excited to share with you today information on energetic home health and wellness products. So, in this event, and please feel free to take some notes, you're going to learn how and why they created our US patented technology, how our technology works and what makes it different, why everyone needs this energetic health and wellness technology, how to use our products for maximum benefits and results, best practices for testing the products on yourself and others, and what results to expect from using these products. And today we're going to have a special concentration on why we are a world leader in EMF protection. So I'm excited that I get to introduce to you the owners and inventors of Nature's Frequencies products. They are here with us today for this special event to share their vision and mission for the company with us. So I'd like to start by introducing Rick and RJ Hassler. Rick has been a successful business owner for many years. In fact, he sold a previous business as an Inc. 500 company after operating it for 25 years. He and his son RJ are very passionate about Nature's Frequencies, and they are so excited to expand their vision and mission with this division. So I want to welcome them, Rick and RJ.
Thank you. Thank you, Susie. And thank you everyone around the world for joining us, from Malaysia at midnight to Australia at 3 a.m. and the UK and Nigeria in the evening. Welcome everybody. Today you're going to hear from one of RJ and my absolute favorite doctors. RJ and I met Dr. JeNeen over 7 years ago at Life University, and we've been friends ever since. Dr. JeNeen was focused on EMF way before most people were concerned about 3G or EMF or even knew about anything about EMF. And we're extremely happy for you to hear from her today. She is a wealth of information and an absolute pleasure, and I'm looking forward to speaking with her. For just first, a little on our history. Nature's Frequency is a family-owned business run by myself and RJ, my son. And over the past 8 years, we've been manufacturing and private labeling our unique home energetic health and wellness products for hundreds of health practitioners like Dr. JeNeen and companies also around the world. And we are by far a leader in this space. And while some companies try to imitate other products, we prefer to invent and create new products using our US patented technology that is truly unique and light years ahead. Last week, we are extremely happy to say we were issued our 6th US patent, which is titled Systems in Process and Device for Emissions or Augmentation of Energy Affecting Animals and Pets. And we're incredibly proud of our Wild Pet tag. It is working absolutely phenomenal on, besides pets, goats, cows, humans, fish, and according to my son RJ, coral. Basically, everyone's loving the Wow Pet Tag. And so that's a good thing. So our goal is to become a world leader in innovative, energetic home and health and wellness products. So we will continue to grow and expand our product line to create the most innovative products in the world to share with you and for you to share with the world. Nature's Frequency is a world leader in EMF protection. And I have to tell you, there's not one company in the world that can claim the following regarding EMF, and we can. One, we have won 13 major awards, including the most prestigious Gold Medal Edison Award. Our latest award by Food Logistics, top software and technology provider. The story was published by Yahoo Finance, MarketWatch, and over 100 other publications just last week. We hold an accepted U.S. patent that specifically includes EMF and clearly states the energetic information emitted from the program layer is programmed to offset the negative effects of the electromagnetic field, EMF, output from a mobile electronic device. It's in our patent. We've been manufacturing the EMF Shield in the US for over 7 years. We have sold millions through medical practitioners, again, like Dr. JeNeen, and through companies around the world. We have independent lab testing that you can see that shows a significant difference. Very simple. Thermography, your head goes up on average 1.55 degrees on a 3-minute call. With the phone chip, it goes up 0.08, which is a 93% decrease. The EMF Shield was tested on live TV in Australia, and the results, according to them, were remarkable. They didn't understand how they did it, but on thermography testing, the results were phenomenal. And now, most important is, since we've been sold through practitioners, our practitioners have tested our EMF Shield with HRVs, EKGs, EEGs, muscle testing, balance testing, and every method you could possibly imagine. And our practitioners love our EMF Shield.
Our guest speaker today is Dr. JeNeen, and Dr. JeNeen has been using these products, well, probably for the last 8 years. You know, she's one of those doctors that we talk about that helped with the formulations and was some of the first to implement them into her practice. She is a chiropractor as well as a traditional board certified naturopathic physician. She's been practicing holistic medicine since 2006. She specializes in clinical nutrition, allergy desensitizing, and natural hormone balancing, and using acupressure techniques, whole food supplements, homeopathy, and herbs. And her thing is to help people navigate their health in the most efficient way. And she loves our product. She's on our medical advisory board. So we are pleased to welcome Dr. JeNeen.
Hey, Susie. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here this morning.
It is always a pleasure. Dr. JeNeen, we met, I think it's almost 8 years ago now. And you were probably one of the first people ever. We had an EMF Shield, but you were the first one where you were eager, like, you have something? Tell us, because you go back to 3G saying this can't be good for you.
Way back.
Let's go way back and talk about your history and why you thought something had to be done.
So years before I met you, I had started to run across information that maybe cell phones weren't necessarily so good for our bodies. And so I started looking into that. And back then, nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody cared. But this was new technology. And, you know, we've been around this planet for a really long time. And so when we started introducing these new frequencies that are very stressful to our bodies, there were already signs that it really wasn't going to be a good idea. And then the technology started moving so fast. I said, okay, we got to get ahead of this thing. We've got to find something. And so, yes, I was already looking for, devices to use with the phones, devices to wear on the body to try to mitigate this damage before I even met you. But it was amazing because when I met you, I had the stuff that I was using with me, and yours just blew it away. Absolutely blew it away. And so the rest is history.
Yeah, and it was funny because this is kind of neat. We always went every year to Life University, and Dr. JeNeen was always there. She would be nice enough to come and do a muscle test on every single doctor, and they would come up and say, well, I got this. JeNeen go, let me see it. And whatever it was, we continued to, and everybody at Life University does different forms of muscle testing, balance testing. And JeNeen is happy, okay, we'll do whatever you want, but constantly it was effective. And this goes way back.
And Rick, I've been passionate about it ever since, because this is so important. And I want to, when we get into this, I want to kind of talk about the pervasiveness of this particular toxin. But it's so important, and every single time I've ever tested it, no matter what method I've ever used, I've always gotten great results, including just, patients that I work with being able to tell and feel the difference.
Well, first, let's go to this. Can you tell everybody how EMF really affects the body? And one of my favorite lines from you is, you can't see it, but it.
Right. So let me tell you
that, please.
Okay. So basically, we have all of these devices around us that communicate energetically, so to speak. The Wi-Fi, the cell phones, the towers, the Bluetooth, all of these things, you can't see it. You can't feel it. Some people can feel it that are really, really sensitive. Most people can't feel it. You can't taste it. You can't hear it. However, it's bombarding us and affecting us all the time. And what happens is our bodies are frequency, our bodies are energetic. And we all know this because you might go into a room and somebody negative walks in, or somebody that's sad or that has an attitude walks in, and you can literally feel the energy of the room just, I know we've all felt that before, or, being around somebody that just makes you feel tense. Well, this is what happens to our cells when we are surrounded by this electromagnetic frequency, this EMR radiation. Our cells go into a stress mode. And so what happens with them is that they kind of, the cell membranes kind of harden down. They have a hard time getting rid of their toxins, and they have a hard time taking in their nutrients. So it affects our body's function. Now, the original studies that were done on cell phones, they said, oh, well, it doesn't really affect us because it doesn't, heat the tissue up that much. Well, there's so many more effects that don't have anything to do with heat. There's biological effects that affect the function of our cells and our tissues. And that's what's really causing a problem. And it is just everywhere. I actually brought a little meter today. And I know you can't really see the colors, but I used this on the way over here in the car just to see what the ambient levels of radiation were as I was driving to work. And it is just incredible the way we are being bombarded. If we could see it, it would look like a foggy day. It would look like dense fog. That's how pervasive this is.
Well, I've been to your office, and you're in Atlanta in a community that's got a lot of businesses. So
yes.
You looked, and one of the lines that I always like is, and you've explained to people, is look at your computer. How many Wi-Fi devices can you connect to in your office? Probably for you, 50.
Absolutely.
You are,
and that's the thing. If you open up your computer or your phone, you click on your Wi-Fi button, you're going to see all the networks that are within range. They're within range of your body too. Those are all of the Wi-Fi networks that are bombarding you at all times and causing this stress. Now, in my office, I do a really sophisticated test called heart rate variability, and it actually shows the stress within your nervous system. And I've actually done before and after tests with our earthing card that I'm sure we're going to talk about. And it's just amazing the difference. It literally helps the body to, the stressor is still there, but it helps the body to not have such a negative response. So it changes the way our body is able to cope with that stress.
I'm glad you brought that up. The EMF Shield is for devices. The earthing shield really helps the body.
Yes.
And if you could explain a little bit more why people should really have an earthing card with them, because you, besides your devices, you're getting bombarded.
Yeah, so we'll start with the earthing card first because,
Okay.
like I said, no matter where you go, now we're going to talk about how to mitigate the radiation from our own devices, but
Yep.
no matter where you go, there's people surrounding you with their devices that have never heard of this technology, which is why we need to share it with people. For instance, if you go, I know many of us are not really going to stadiums right now, but stadiums are huge for, I mean, that's just probably one of the worst places you can be, because not only do they have major Wi-Fi networks within the stadium, but then you've got everybody with one or two cell phones. Speaking of that, I want to give you these numbers because it is really, really shocking. They predicted that by 2023, there would be 7.33 billion cell phone users. Well, I looked up the real number. There are 9.42 billion mobile connections, and there's only 7.75 billion people. So what that means is that a lot of people have more than one phone. So anywhere you go, whenever you're in a crowd, whenever you're in a grocery store, everybody in there has their phone. So you've got hundreds, maybe thousands of phones surrounding you. And the area that this penetrates is pretty large. You know, the closer you are to it, the more concentrated it is. But when you open up that Wi-Fi network and you can see all those networks, those are all bombarding you. So it's not just your devices, but you also have to protect yourself from everything that's in your environment. I mean, we're talking about smart homes. We're going to go through a list. I'm going to help you search out some of these things, but we're talking about smart meters and all of these devices, the TVs, and everything communicates now. And you've got the thermostats that are smart, and so many of our devices are Bluetooth, and so it's just really,
The
really
doorbell
important.
is now smart.
Yes,
You know, you got a
yes.
video on a doorbell.
And when we travel, I mean, traveling, that's another place. Hospitals, all of these places that have a lot of devices, a lot of technology, are going to really, you know, impact us in a major way.
So keeping the earthing card, good idea to keep on you.
So it's a great idea. I'm going to show you where I keep mine. So I actually wear mine in a belt. It's right here. I don't go anywhere without this. I do not go anywhere without this. It's just that important. You know, like I said, driving over here, this meter, which it goes from green is, you know, lower, yellow is medium, and red is high intensity. It stayed on red almost all the way over here. It's on red now because I'm sitting in front of my computer. Now, if I back up to here, it turns green. So it is dependent on the distance. But because there's so many things in our environment, I don't go anywhere without this card.
So let's go back to the earthing card. And Dr. Amalia was adamant about putting it exactly where you put it.
Yes.
The lower 10 AM by, you know, your umbilical cord. Tell us a little bit why you like it there and the benefit of putting it there. A lot of ladies can do that pouch that you have.
So I actually, and I'm going to take this off just to show you how small it is and how easy it is to wear without it being seen under your clothes. So we have these channels of energy that run through our body, and they communicate all over our body, and they give us our vitality and our you know, our chi, our energy. And there are some major vessels that run right up the midline. And so when you put that right there, it's really a great place to energize your entire body. Now, what we're actually doing is we're bringing up our body's energy so that when we get bombarded with these negative energies, it's almost like we have a force field around us. So it helps to kind of deflect that. So this is really thin, you can see.
Yeah.
This is called it's a side belt, but I got it off of Amazon. It's really thin, it's moldable. Sometimes I wear it on my back. I wear it to bed. You know, when I get ready for bed, I put it on. I can't feel it. It's so small and thin. And so that is just huge. The other thing that I do with the earthing card, and I got this from Susie, so thank you for that, Susie. Prior to now, I was actually, you know, running my water over the card into a glass pitcher. Yep. But now I just keep it in my cup. I just have a cup. So this is actually my travel cup, because whenever I'm traveling, I really want to make sure, if I'm staying in a hotel or if I'm flying, I really want to make sure I'm protected. So I wear one card, and then I have another card inside of my, this is a filter bottle so that if I'm at a hotel, I don't have to keep buying bottled water. So I've got a zero water filter pitcher, and then I've got my card in here so that I'm always drinking that earthing water, because again, that helps to hydrate the cells and helps the cell membranes, helps the cells to be healthier.
You know, it's funny about the earthing card, but running water over it. One of the doctors from Life University ran water over the earthing card onto his rug and would do a muscle test on that spot that people would test strong. He would move them 3 feet over. They would test weak. And this is in Atlanta. It was
That's
a doctor
amazing.
that 3 months it worked. He goes, Rick, we amazed everybody. They go, what is in this spot? And the guy said, really simple, water.
You know,
water.
I do this in my initial visit. I'll demonstrate the earthing card, and I'll demonstrate the Emf Shield. And people are always like, wait a minute, do that again.
Do
so
that
we do it again, and it works every time.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, Dr. JeNeen shows 3 different ways on a video. And thank you so much, Dr. JeNeen, for doing that.
Oh, my pleasure.
She shows you 3 different ways to do a muscle test, a balance test, and it's online. And so everybody can get that. But RJ, can we ever get that video up with the final face of him?
Yeah, let's try that again. Here we go. Let's try it one more time.
The end, JeNeen. There we go. This is a strong guy. And he was, then he goes, wait a minute, I wasn't ready. Off his face.
Ah, there's the look.
He was, JeNeen, he was not pleased. This guy's like, I'm strong. There's no way you're going to take me down. And all right, thanks, Sarge. Unshare.
Yeah.
Dr. JeNeen, that was one of the funniest faces I've ever seen. And the guy's like, no way, the phone's taking me down.
Right. So I want to mention something. This one is for the ladies especially. There is a huge correlation between this EMF stress and premature aging. And so wearing these cards has a profound effect on your body in terms of allowing you to heal so that you don't age prematurely. You know, a lot of times the wrinkles and the things like that are because we have damage. We have cellular damage that the body can't get on top of. It can't heal fast enough. And so I've been, there you go.
Mr. Face, I want my face.
I do it every day.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give an example. I was at a symposium a couple weeks ago, and I had the opportunity to get a very sophisticated heart rate variability test. And part of that test was, it shows your biological age. And so I'm always telling people I'm doing my best to age in reverse. And, you know, I don't test myself around the office that much, but being able to have that test, it showed me that my body was biologically 10 years younger than what I actually am. Right. And then I did a therapy that basically simulated a deep sleep. And we're going to talk about sleep a little bit at the end. And after doing that therapy, that knocked another 5 years off. And so it is so important to protect ourselves. And I truly believe that using these energetic products and wearing this earthing card is what's doing that for me.
You know, I got to tell you, I'm a product of our products, because I had an HRV done with the same age, and it's like an 8-page test. And in this test, I tested at 35 years old. And the guy who saw it says, "Are you kidding me?" And it was actually the manufacturer who made it was doing the test, and he made the HRV, and it's a $5,000 machine. And he goes, "Rick, I've never seen this." I go, "Well, I use my products. I must be doing something right." RJ, can you show the, we have a checklist, which we made for the EMF Shield. And
yeah, let's see that. So we have the checklist, and we have 2 things. If you go to the website, you can go, and if you go under the EMF Shield product page and the earthing card product page, you'll see a big green button that says click to go to the EMF checklist. And you go there and you can click it. It'll take you to a form and you can fill out that form. It'll email you the results, or you can click and download a hard copy. But you just got to follow that green button and you will see it looks like.
Can you call it up and share your screen?
Yep. So this is the PDF printer version. Can you see this?
There you go. Can you go to the next page and just hold it there for a second?
Yep.
This is what's kind of important. You know, and Dr. JeNeen will explain it, but if you have a cordless phone, it needs an EMF. It's not just for mobile phones, all right? A cordless phone. RJ, there you go. Thank you. iPads, tablets, laptops. My laptop has 4. I have 2 where my left palm sits and 2 where my right palm sits. A desktop computer, Wi-Fi routers are huge. I put at least 4 on my Wi-Fi router because that's probably the most important place. Any wireless keyboard, a wireless mouse, a wireless printer, you should put EMF shields on them. A signal booster. A lot of people have extensions in their house for signals. Game consoles are most important for kids. You really want to protect the kids. And if you look at the picture above, you'll see why. The kids nowadays are living on these devices, including my 13-year-old daughter who's been staring at her phone all morning. Anyways, wireless speakers, headphones, baby monitors. Baby monitors is something that you really got to be careful. It's wireless and people put them right next to the baby. Alarm clocks, smartwatches, you got to be careful because you really can't put them on. You can put them on the band, but that's a smartwatch. Smart TVs, power strips, power devices, the power pads. I was going over the checklist. Now, you've seen it. Tell me where the checklist came from, because I know you've seen it and used it.
So I actually, Rick, I told you this is one of my absolute hot buttons. And so I actually recently did a course, it was a 6-week course on EMF protection. And they talked about, it was an EMF checklist to find these sources, because a lot of these things we don't even think about, and so I got this checklist, and so she looked at what I had and put it together with what she had, and we've got this amazing tool that I love. Absolutely love.
Well, thank you. I thought you had went to a long symposium because you're always doing continuing ed.
Yes,
every time always. I see it. And, so I had a feeling that you did that. And, it doesn't surprise me that it was from EMF because you've been on top of this for so long.
Yes.
So why is it important that we have an EMF shield on our phone and those devices? Please explain to people.
Absolutely. So as I was showing with that meter, when you have these devices that emit, so anything that is hooked up wirelessly, whether it be the LTE, the new 5G, which that takes it to a whole different level. That is exponentially more toxic than what we've been exposed to. And what that's doing to us is it's really taking our immune system down, to be honest with you. That's what it does. It hinders your immune functions drastically. And so now more than ever, we've got to be super proactive. But as our phones try to communicate with the Wi-Fi, with the Bluetooth, and with the cell phone towers, that's 3 different types of radiation that it's emitting. When we have these devices on our phones, and I'm one of those people, unfortunately, I'm contributing to the statistic. I am one of those people with 2 phones. I don't go anywhere without it. I keep it on every device, the phones, the computers, the tablets, the routers, everything that I can absolutely think of. I'm going to go through this list and make sure I haven't missed anything, because basically when we have it close to our bodies, which we do with these, whether we carry them on our bodies or whether they're in our, in our bags, they're still right there next to us. And so we're having a greater effect. So the start of it is protecting your own environment, mitigating all the devices in your own environment, and then wearing that card so that you're protected against everything else that's coming from the outside.
Thank you. When I saw the list, it hit me. I called my office and I had them ship up 20 packs of the Emf Shields. It's like, I need some more.
We need a lot. We do.
Right.
We need a lot. I mean, that's one of the things that I really get people to understand is that you've got to really do all the devices in your home, and you've also got to be cognizant of the fact that this radiation goes in every direction. So if you have a router, I highly recommend you put it as far from anywhere where anybody's spending any significant time, especially the bedrooms. Put it as far away as you possibly can. Chip it up. I use 4 EMF shields on the router.
Me too.
And then you want to turn it off at night as well. So we want to take every precaution that there is, you know. So I turn it off at night because at night our bodies are regenerating, healing, recuperating, and that's where we kind of diffuse some of this energy and rebuild and, you know, get our strengths up for the next day. So it's really, really important to do this. I can't stress it enough.
You know, another doctor down at Life University had an office, sort of like yours, an office condo.
Mm-hmm.
He had the end unit, and one day they decided to change all the meters to smart meters, and every single smart meter was by his end unit. What do you think happened to all of his employees within a month?
Let me guess, they all got sick.
Yes.
And or tired.
Yes. He had to move.
Wow.
And just so people understand what a smart meter is, it's an electric meter that sends a signal so the readers don't have to get out of their car and read your electric box.
Right.
And they had switched 10 in his building right outside. He was at the end unit. They switched all 10 to these smart meters and wiped out his office, his patients. Like, people would go there to get better. They get worse.
Yeah,
And
that's hard.
and this was down by you. Within a month, he had to move. And he told me,
and
I can't stay here.
Part of the problem, because we go back to, you know, that you can't see it and you can't taste it, and a lot of people can't feel it. A lot of people don't realize the connection. But I forgot to finish saying what I was saying about it going in all directions, and it also does go through walls. Somebody asked that. It does go through walls, and so you want to make sure you don't have it right on the opposite wall from where your bed is, because even though you might not think of it being in the room with you, it goes right through walls, just like all of these Wi-Fi signals are coming at us through our walls.
Right. And the
in every
best way to
direction.
explain that to somebody, if you're in a 100-story building in New York City, dead center in the middle of concrete, your phone still works.
Right.
If your phone works, your body's getting that.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the other thing people have to think about. It's like, don't think just because there's a wall there. If your phone works inside the room, that wave is hitting your body the same way it's hitting your phone.
Right.
So tell us more about your symposium. What else you learned? I love hearing you learning.
You know, Rick, it's one of those things where it makes me so grateful for what we have, because I mean, some of the things are on this list, but the TVs and the light bulbs and all of this fluorescent stuff, like here in my office, I never turn on the overhead fluorescent bulbs because they emit a lot of EMF radiation. You know, things that we're using in our everyday lives, like blow dryers.
I didn't know that. I learned that 2 weeks ago. The blow dryers.
Blow dryers are
started
huge.
hitting my blow dryers.
Yes. So anything that plugs in and generates, you know, a motor, that's going to generate a EMF field. And so that was one of the major things, even electricity, which is again why it's important for us to sleep with our earthing cards, sleep with, you know, we talked in the past about sleeping with the food freshness cards. I've done that as well. There's just so many sources that we can never be too careful.
All right. Now, on the device list, we showed everybody the list. It's on our website, just so you know, right, RJ?
Yeah, you can. It's in a couple of places. The easiest spot, you just go to the menu bar. You'll see the FAQ tab, and right underneath the FAQ tab, you'll see EMF checklist. You can just click there. That's the easiest way to get to it.
And RJ and I wanted to thank you, Dr. JeNeen, for getting us the checklist. We knew it came from you. Yeah, tell us.
I just glanced down at the checklist. I've got to say this. I just glanced down at the checklist and saw microwave. And you know, intuitively, most of us know that microwaves are no good thing. But I did a test with my meter. I was in someone's home and I was talking to them about, you know, EMF mitigation and about the products. And I did a test with the meter where I would turn on the microwave and stand in front of it and see how far back I had to back up before it would drop out of the red.
Doesn't
You
drop.
could go 3 rooms over, it doesn't drop.
It doesn't drop.
So
I did the same thing.
again, I encourage you not to use the microwave. But also when you're in buildings where you're in other people's homes and they're using them, that earthing card is really what you need.
You know, it's funny you said that. I was with a doctor doing dark field microscope and with our chips, and it shows how our chips separate. And he was goes way back, like 8 years ago. And he's educating me about the microwave. He goes, take the meter and go buy the microwave.
Oh.
I go, what's the matter? So I did. He goes, now back away. We went outside of his house.
Yes.
And you know, people always stand with their head looking at the water boiling.
Yes.
Like
It's
besides filling the
right?
water, he goes, they are brutal. So anyways, so we're in the same boat. We try to tell people it's not beneficial.
Yeah. And I just, you know, I encourage everybody. I have my, I have one of the EMF shields. I laminated it. I did this years ago, and I keep it right here on my desk because I test everybody to show them why it's so important to be mindful of this and to, you know, get their devices protected. But I encourage everybody to just take one, you know, cut it off your sheet. When you get your packet, keep one in your wallet because it's so easy to demonstrate. I use a really simple muscle test just with the fingers. I just have people hold their ring finger and their thumb together, and I try to pull them apart. And I tell them to hold with just enough pressure to keep their fingers together. I give them a phone. Now, if I'm demonstrating with my phone, of course, I have to pop off the case, and you know, I keep it in the case so I can take it off. But I have them hold the phone. I show that it weakens them. It happens every single time. And then I tell them what this does. We lay it on top of the phone and they get strong again. That's so easy to demonstrate. You can keep one in your wallet and show your family because we want to protect the ones we love, but they don't quite get it all the time. So sometimes you actually have to show them what it's doing to their body. And I've never had anybody not want one after I showed them that demo.
Dr. JeNeen showed us this the second year we met. She was all proud. I loved it. I told other people at Life did it. That's probably a 7-year-old EMF shield that you had with your card.
Absolutely.
Yes. She did this about 7 years ago and I loved it. I'm like, she goes, look, I have it in with my, and you were the first one who did it. And it was like, wow, what a great idea. And she goes, I always keep it with me. I always show people, and it's the back of her business card. And you showed me that 7 years ago, and I love it. And with your mom. Anyways, EMF, I think we covered most of it, but we got to talk about some of our other products because you've used a lot for a long time. Let's go to mom's favorite real quick.
Now, okay, we're gonna talk about mom's favorite, but did we mention, you may have mentioned it when I dropped off, did we mention some of the signs that people might be sensitive? Now, the only reason why I want to mention this is because, like I was saying, a lot of times people don't realize that there's so many things that can actually be tied to EMF sensitivity that they have no way of correlating. And once they take these simple steps and getting these EMF patches and the earthing card, so many things go away. And so it's just some of the common symptoms are just, you know, body discomforts, immune challenges, like if you feel like you're getting sick all the time and that wasn't the case before. A lot of times that could be because they turned on a new tower in your, you know, in your environment. Head discomfort, fatigue, weakness, tingling, all that kind of stuff. So just be mindful that you may experience a big difference when you start using these mitigating devices. Now,
tell us more. I love when you tell us things. I do.
Well, I'm gonna move on to why I travel. When I travel,
you travel a lot still.
I do. I'm not scared. And when I travel with this.
There you go. I love the pack.
Because I like to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. And one of the things that is so powerful and so important when I'm traveling is this Nitro Patch. Now, I wear Nitro. I love Nitro. I've got it on right now. I'm wearing it on my wrist. But Nitro, what it does is it helps to increase our body's nitric oxide. That's just a molecule that helps with blood flow. It helps with circulation. It helps with energy and, stamina and endurance and all of these things. But recently, there were some studies that showed that nitric oxide actually had an antiviral effect. And so that's just another benefit that I think is phenomenal. So I wear this Nitro. Nitro is one of those things that actually, it kind of boosts everything else. And so, in addition to making sure I've got my Emf Shields and everything, I want to have something on my body that's going to help with the circulation while I'm improving the energy, and it just all works together. And then, as I was talking about how harmful the EMF is, the time that our body repairs the damage from this and other toxins, and the time that our body actually detoxifies and gets rid of a lot of the stuff that we've accumulated throughout the day is during our sleep. And so sleep is so very important. A lot of people are getting in bed and maybe being in bed for 7 hours. But when we look at, the actual levels of deep sleep, that restorative sleep, they're not getting enough. And so I always travel with these sleep patches because when I'm in a different environment, I may be off schedule, I may be in a different time zone, I may be, a little bit stressed. Travel itself is stressful, the radiation you get from the plane. These sleep patches help to make sure you're getting into that deep restorative sleep, and that's where your body heals, and that's where you need to be. And so this is another product that I recommend for everybody. Everybody.
How about Mom?
So mom
Fell in love with one of our products.
Mom fell in love with our relief patch.
Yes.
Mom, absolutely. And I knew you were going to ask about Mom. I had to give her excuses of why she's not here today. But Mom fell in love with our relief patches, and this is her absolute favorite product. I mean, she gets a little bit neurotic. It's almost like running out of toilet paper when she runs out of relief. But relief is really for any discomfort or inflammation in the body. And this can be used, after the fact, or this can be used proactively. And so relief is amazing. If something hurts, you stick it where it hurts. Another one of our phrases that you like, but literally,
I love that line.
Where it hurts, and you use enough patches to make a difference. So you may only need one, you may need two, but you just stick it where it hurts, and it's profound. I mean, I've had so many people trying to reproduce the pain because they can't believe it's gone, and they can't believe it's gone that fast. I had one lady who her ankles would always swell. She couldn't do anything about this swelling. And she used the relief, and that swelling went down within a day. And she's like, oh my gosh, I should have taken before and after pictures. And I've got to get better at reminding people to do that, because we really have some powerful testimonials that a lot of times we don't catch because the results happen so fast.
RJ and I used to do trade shows all the time, like at Life, but and there's so many people that would say, well, my shoulder, I can't lift it. And I would put the relief patches on them. And as we're speaking, you can see them go like this, and then they're like, I can't lift I could never lift my arm over my head. And all the time. And so right now we do the nitro and relief samples to show people. And those are two things, they make a difference.
Yes.
And they combine really well together.
They do. And which is why we have this now.
Right. The sample mailer.
I absolutely love this. I love the samples because you're getting the nitro and the relief, two of my favorite products.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't go anywhere. This pack, that stack of stuff that I just pulled out, that's literally in my backpack at all times. I travel with it. I'm never without it, because you want to have it when you need it. You never know when you're going to turn your ankle over. And when you get this on right away, you're going to kind of, halt that inflammation right there so that you don't have to go down the road that you don't want to go down.
No, we try to help people as quick as we can. And just so everybody knows, with Nitro and Relief, if something happened a day or two ago, it's really quick that usually Nitro and Relief takes care of it. But if somebody's had something for years, it may take an overnight. And so I always tell people, you know what I mean, JeNeen?
Yes, absolutely.
So maybe you can explain it better, but I try to tell people, if you've had that everything's been shut off for years, you need to open up the meridians and start getting blood flow and blah, blah. It's been a while. So can you explain sometimes you need to leave it a little bit, but a little bit, you can explain it better than me.
Well, Rick, you actually did a really good job. It's as simple as that, things that didn't happen overnight don't go away overnight.
There you go.
Every now and then, depending on what else you're doing, you might get that immediate, but it takes time for the body, because we're not looking to suppress a symptom. We're looking for the body to actually get better and to actually rebalance and to actually create healthier tissues. And that takes some time. But another huge factor in it is this right here, hydration. You've got to be well hydrated.
Yeah. Because
the water in your body is kind of like the river that the energy flows on. So you've got to be well hydrated, and that's going to help everything really have an effect that much faster.
Hydrate and spray. I'm going to be young.
Yes. Me too. And now I've got the proof.
All right. Well, I thank you. Is there anything else you want to add or anything? It is always a pleasure.
I'm just going to add one last thing that I just love. I wouldn't feel right if I didn't mention it's so funny how you have like 10 favorites, right?
Yeah.
But my other favorite product is this immunity patch. And this is one that I'm using all the time. Now, you mentioned that I travel. I do travel a lot, and I've been wonderfully healthy and energetic and vibrant and aging in reverse and all of that. And this immunity is something that I've used for years. This goes way back to when we first met as well.
Yeah.
And had just phenomenal results with it. Whenever I felt any kind of tickle or any kind of sniffle or any kind of itch in my ear, I would just stick that immunity on. And now sometimes I'll just wear them, for days at a time, just for prevention, because it really does just help your immune system to do what it does best. The body heals, the body heals. But when your body is energized and when it, kind of gets the right signals, it does a much better job.
Yeah, you knew it as the health, cold, and sinus patch.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we probably upgraded it to immunity. I wear it inside my wrists all the time now.
Yes.
And RJ and I used to travel a lot, and we were adamant to always fly with immunity. Mm-hmm. And with me, my glands would get swollen. If I feel something coming, instantly I can feel it here. Mm-hmm. So I would put them on. And I'm going skiing today, so I'm happy.
So as you talk about travel, there's one more thing. I laugh at myself because I always say, I just want to say one more thing. And then there's like 2 more things. But speaking of travel, this was something that I did not know until this past year. The new millimeter wave scanners that we have to go through, where you go like this, that's the same type of radiation that 5G is. It's the same millimeter wave. That's what 5G is. And so a lot of times when we travel, we tend to start getting sick. It's because that particular type of radiation is very harmful to our immune system. And so I actually bought the TSA PreCheck just so that I wouldn't have to go through that scanner. But that's another reason why I'm always wearing that earthing card. And I'm always wearing immunity when I travel, because you just get so much exposure.
RJ and I used to fly every month, and before we got the TSA PreCheck, RJ, I told him he opted out from day one. My kids have never been through the machine.
RJ's always been over the top, always been over the top. And, it's funny because I remember when he first got his fancy, I think it was the iPhone 10 when they first came out, he's always the early adopter.
Yeah.
And as good as these products work, and we all know this, and you've got all the testing, he would still have like his whole phone, covered.
Oh, right. On the inside, he'll have like 10.
Always over the top.
RJ, do you have your case? The inside of his case has like every single inch covered with an EMF shield.
You can't really see it.
I admit it. So no, but
No
we
chances.
understand that. Well, Dr. JeNeen, you are always a pleasure. And I got to tell you, RJ and I, from the day we first met you, every year we saw you at Life, it was like the highlight. And in case people don't know,
Excuse me, I'm so sorry, Rick. I just looked at the clock. I have a patient now and the front door is locked, so I have to go. But thank you.
Dr.
It was
JeNeen.
wonderful
Dr.
joining you.
All right, thank you. Anyways, I got to tell you, just so you all know, Dr. JeNeen at Life University, she would come and sit at our booth and explain to the other doctors how good these products were. And it was great. Then we were swamped because we'd been there a bunch of times. Her mom came and sat with us and would tell people, my knee is never the same without our patches. So it was just, they've been the nicest family, and I'm just lucky to know them.